1. When designing Armed Forces Classification Test AFCT study materials, which principle of adult learning is most critical to ensure relevance and retention? A. Repetition of factual data without context. B. Linking material to real-life military applications. C. Memorization through rote drills exclusively. D. Minimizing learner autonomy. 2. An instructor preparing soldiers for the AFCT integrates group problem-solving tasks to build analytical skills. This aligns with which adult learning principle? A. Passive learning theory. B. Collaborative and experiential learning. C. One-way knowledge transmission. D. Hierarchical teaching methods. 3. Which evaluation method best measures a learner's ability to apply AFCT knowledge to operational decision-making? A. Multiple choice recall exams only. B. Performance-based scenario assessments. C. Peer grading without criteria. D. Self-assessment without structure. 4. When developing a curriculum for AFCT preparation, which step ensures alignment with testing requirements? A. Prioritizing instructor preferences. E. Reviewing the official AFCT test blueprint. C. Basing content on past personal experiences. D. Excluding regulatory standards. 5. In adult learning for AFCT readiness, immediate feedback is essential because it A. Increases dependency on instructors. B. Helps learners self-correct and reinforce understanding. C. Delays performance improvement. D. Creates unnecessary stress. 6. Which communication strategy is most effective when guiding a group of AFCT learners with diverse educational backgrounds? Using jargon-heavy instructions. B. Employing clear, adaptive, and concise language. C. Relying solely on written directives. D. Avoiding questions from learners. 7. A mentor notices a soldier consistently struggles with verbal comprehension practice tests. What mentoring technique is most effective? A. Providing generalized encouragement only. B. Assigning customized verbal drills with guided feedback. C. Ignoring the weakness to prevent discouragement. D. Repeating the same test until improvement occurs. 8. In evaluating AFCT prep programs, formative assessments are used primarily to A. Grade learners permanently. Provide ongoing feedback to adjust instruction. C. Rank students for competition. D. Replace the final AFCT exam. 9. Which element of regulatory compliance must instructors consider when creating FCT study sessions? A. Ensuring adherence to Department of Defense testing policies. B. Allowing unverified testing methods. C. Ignoring official guidelines for convenience. D. Modifying test content without approval. 10. Adult learners preparing for the AFCT often prefer A. Learning passively without participation. B. Engaging in goal-oriented tasks with clear outcomes. C. Relying entirely on memorization drills. D. Avoiding feedback sessions. 11. Which evaluation approach best identifies a soldier's readiness for the AFCT? A. Randomized informal questioning only. B. Comprehensive pretests simulating the AFCT format. C. Daily attendance tracking. D. Personality assessments. 12. When aligning curriculum development with AFCT requirements, instructors must prioritize A. Test-taking strategies and relevant knowledge domains. B. Entertainment-focused content. C. Personal anecdotes. D. Generic study skills not tied to the AFCT. 13. An instructor models AFCT problem-solving techniques and then has learners practice independently. This represents which teaching model? A. Lecture-only instruction. B. Demonstration practice feedback cycle. C. Rote memorization. D. Learner isolation. 14. Which of the following is a key mentoring role in AFCT preparation? A. Providing career context for test results. B. Withholding personal experience. C. Reducing opportunities for practice. D. Limiting feedback sessions. 15. During AFCT prep, learners are given adaptive practice tests that increase in difficulty based on performance. This technique best supports a cognitive overload. B. Scaffolded learning progression. C. Non-linear evaluation. D. Randomized practice only. 16. A communication barrier that may hinder AFCT preparation sessions is A. Encouraging learner questions. B. Overuse of unexplained military jargon. C. Adapting explanations to learner levels. D. Using visual and verbal reinforcement. 17. Which principle ensures AFCT prep materials meet regulatory compliance? A. Using unauthorized test simulations. B. Validating materials against official AFCT standards. C. Encouraging improvisation over structure. D. Ignoring confidentiality requirements. 18. The most effective way to mentor an AFCT candidate struggling with math anxiety is to A. Encourage avoidance of math practice. B. Offer gradual exposure with confidence-building exercises. C. Provide no guidance. D. Focus solely on verbal reasoning. 19. Which evaluation method helps determine the effectiveness of AFCT curriculum design? A. Program outcome analysis and learner feedback. B. Ignoring learner performance data. C. Only instructor self-reflection. D. Reducing assessments to save time. 20. In adult learning, AFCT instructors should emphasize self-directed learning because A. Adults prefer passive instruction. B. Adults value autonomy and responsibility for progress. C. It removes accountability from the learner. D. It eliminates the need for mentoring. 21. Which strategy enhances motivation in AFCT learners? A. Linking test success to career advancement opportunities. Ignoring personal goals. C. Reducing relevance of study material. D. Limiting recognition of progress. 22. When evaluating AFCT performance, norm-referenced assessment compares A learner's performance against a standard set of objectives. B. A learner's performance against peers. C. A learner's performance against instructor expectations only. D. A learner's performance against self-reported goals. 23. Which communication approach supports clarity when explaining AFCT scoring? A. Using examples tied to rank eligibility and MOS placement. E. Giving abstract explanations with no context. C. Using only numerical data without interpretation. D. Avoiding discussion of test outcomes. 24. When building AFCT study schedules, instructors should A. Consider time constraints of service members' duties. B. Ignore operational schedules. C. Set rigid timelines regardless of availability. D. Avoid balancing study with practice. 25. Which adult learning principle is best reflected by incorporating learners' prior military experience into AFCT lessons? A. Relevance of experience. B. Memorization without context. C. Passive absorption. D. Isolation from real-life application. 26. Mentors helping AFCT candidates should focus on A. Encouraging reflective thinking about strengths and weaknesses. Avoiding constructive criticism. C. Relying solely on standardized practice tests. D. Providing minimal guidance. 27. Which evaluation method provides the most comprehensive measure of AFCT readiness? A. Combining diagnostic, formative, and summative assessments. B. Using only practice quizzes. C. Skipping mid-course evaluations. D. Relying on attendance rates. 28. When teaching test-taking strategies for AFCT, which is most effective? Demonstrating time management techniques for each section. B. Ignoring pacing concerns. C. Encouraging learners to guess randomly throughout. D. Discouraging practice under timed conditions. 29. Which principle ensures fairness and regulatory compliance in AFCT prep assessments? A. Standardized testing conditions for all candidates. B. Random variations in rules per learner. C. Allowing unauthorized aids. D. Eliminating a structure to reduce stress. 30. In adult learning environments, the role of the AFCT instructor as a facilitator is to A. Guide discovery and critical thinking. E. Dominate all discussions. C. Avoid learner interaction. D. Limit exploration of ideas. 31. Which feedback method best supports AFCT learners' improvement? A. Immediate, specific, and constructive feedback. B. Delayed, vague feedback. C. Feedback without examples. D. No feedback provided.